What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Download Q episode 27. We are back after a quick life vacation, figuring things out. Uh, Remember, we record live each and every Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/Badlands Backlogs. As always, I'm Jaco, joined by Bioshock, Mr. Bioshock himself, Kyle Fish.
Man, I don't even know if I'm Mr. Bioshock. I might not go back after losing
Oh.
12 hours of gameplay. It was only like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but 12 hours of gameplay because it's an old game and you have to save it. You know, it doesn't save for you all the time. But yeah, we had tech issues, so I haven't gone back to it yet. But tomorrow, Monday, as of when we're recording, I want to play more because I'm playing Bioshock for the first time ever.
For the kids.
Yeah, raising money, of course, for Child's Play charity. Really cool. But yeah, I just haven't played this franchise, so I want to get into it. I'm digging the story. I'm understanding and following the story this time, as I'm being way more intentional about it. So we'll see. Again, bummed about losing that progress, but it's a moment. It was awakening, right? It was like, all right, now let's get real. You know, it's one of these games.
Yeah, it happened, and it's been a while since I played it. I think like probably a year and a half, 2 years. And as soon as it crashed on you, I was like, "Oh no, it does have issues. I forgot." I was like,
And that's the thing, it crashed too. That like I haven't had a game crash in that regard in a while. So it was just like, oh, and then oh no. But oh well, that's fine. We'll keep playing because I want to beat the series, you know. I want to experience BioShock. I don't know any big twist or anything. I don't know anything.
"Yep,
So that's cool for me. I know there's stuff and reasons why people love this franchise, so I want to see what it is. And we're raising money for kids. So
it'll be interesting to see as you go on, because I've been in minority again of, in my opinion, like Bioshock One, especially the gameplay falls so far flat, and it's mostly carried by the story, which is why I like two so much more because they branch out and do so much more with like abilities and just overall gunplay feels better. So yeah, going back to what, a 14, 15-year-old game now at this point, experiencing it with all the different like changes and updates that gaming has had, it's definitely like a timepiece game.
yeah, for sure. And we'll see how well it holds up. But that's good to hear that or I appreciate you saying the combat's like weaker in this one, and then it gets better because that's I'm feeling that right. I'm like, all right, it feels a little old, but I'm not too far in. The abilities seem a little straightforward, but
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. Whenever I get to Bioshock 2, I'm looking forward to it.
The superior in the franchise. As mentioned though, we're quick back from a quick break last week. Couple things to catch up on, couple news things. Still been pretty quiet. Been a pretty slow time catching up on things again. Not a lot crazy stuff has happened. But we do have some more movie news of all things. Starting off with the Horizon TV series on Netflix. Supposedly no longer happening. Which was a shock to me because with how PlayStation's been recently pushing Horizon as like the franchise for them. And coming off of Uncharted, or not Uncharted, Last of Us, especially, like, this seemed to be the next thing that they would have been, like, all in on 100% type thing. But,
Yeah, I think they. Oh, go for it.
no, I was just going to say, yeah, according to a report by Rolling Stone, alleged toxic bullying and manipulative and retaliatory behavior of the showrunner is the cause of cancellation.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't realize this was. Unfortunately, there were some other things tied to it. E- That's unfortunate, but either way, bad people suck.
Bad people
Either
suck.
way, it I didn't understand a Horizon TV show to begin with. I don't understand PlayStation's push on Horizon as like the franchise. I guess it's all they have right now. And it's I think in a John it's a different type of vibe and it's lighter I think in tone than like some of their other main properties like Last of Us. You know, I think they have like this main like they're like the adult platform, right? They have the AAA, the movie games, right? The cinematic experiences. Horizon felt a little different, but still fit within that category. So it seemed more like they're angling more family friendly with it, with the Lego game, of course. I just still never understood what the show. I didn't think it was necessary for a show. I saw on Twitter a couple people comment like, "Well, it would have been incredibly expensive to get these robot dinosaurs to look great." So kind of makes sense as well. It's like, yeah, that's another reason probably. So I'm not upset about this at all.
Yeah, I don't think if they did go that like all in on it, if this did happen, I don't think like the robots, like obviously you would have to have them to a point, but I don't think they would make them like the main focus initially. Like make it a more smaller, closed story to get to build off of first and then branch out on. Because yeah, that was the big issue with even like the original Halo movie or series back in the day was just the cost of everything to build props and vehicles and everything just tanked that product. And
Yeah.
the parts of that went on to be Section 8, I think it was, is what he did. So that's weird. It's I agree with you with a weird choice of Horizon being the thing they're pushing. I just played through the first one finally last year and didn't really grab me. Gameplay was off to me. Story didn't do a lot to grab me in the way people talk about it online. I guess I went in with higher expectations than I probably should have.
No, I'm the same. Like fell off of one hard, and then I have Forbidden West on PS5, and I think I have 5 to 10 hours in, maybe probably far less, but it just hasn't grabbed me, and yeah, I just don't. It hasn't clicked. The whatever is special about Horizon hasn't fully clicked yet to me, and yeah, I think it is partly online people talking about it. Oh yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, right? You know, Forbidden West, they're just great games, and it's people. I think ends up. Oh, I'm expecting a great game, and it's like, oh, it's a great game. I think it's a solid 7 out of 8. I think I haven't beat them, so this is a silly thing to put a number on it.
Yeah.
But I think visually and just mostly outside, barely touching them, it feels like it's one of those games. It's a 7 and 8 out of 10 game, just like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. They're nothing extraordinary, but if it's something you dig and it fits your vibe and that's what you're looking for, man, they could be really great 10 out of 10 games for you. So I don't know. Yeah, that's why I just feel like it's odd that I feel like Horizon is everywhere, but hey, Netflix just canceled it, so it's not everywhere unless someone else is going to go along with a show.
Yeah, interesting. On the report too, for note, it does say the showrunner was offered an original deal of 50 million for the series plus an original series called Orbital. So yeah, money easily could have been an issue for it too. Splitting 50 million between two whole new projects doesn't seem like a lot to me.
No.
And he is still with Netflix for multi-year deals moving forward. So we'll see. Maybe this surfaces back up again. It was just more of a shock this week to see one of the things we've mentioned a couple times because this and God of War were the next two, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, but don't worry, you don't get Horizon TV series, but you get that Watch Dogs movie coming down the pipeline, Kyle. This quickly announced by Ubisoft. Just a quick picture on Twitter earlier this week. Filming has begun. Um, I believe this was announced back in like 2017 ish. They were trying to get this off the ground for a Watch Dogs movie. Um, Directed by I'm gonna kill the name. Matteo Turi, who did the Deep Dark. Not a lot's been given. I don't even think a lot of the cast has been announced yet. Honestly, it's more of a smaller thing right now. But Watch Dogs, on the exact opposite compared to Horizon, seems like something that would be super easy to do a movie on. Like it's not that far out there. Much more grounded of an idea. Something that you can get by with it being way less gamified to get the wider audience.
Yeah, it's just like a action, you know, spy tech modern action movie, right? If it's gonna be fine. It's probably gonna be one of the most in like I fear it's gonna be try to like hit on just like modern day shit and it's not gonna make sense, you know? Like they're gonna try too hard and miss the mark, but who knows? I mean, whatever on this one. This
Yeah,
is like a way like I gotta see more for me to like even care. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like they just canceled the Horizon one. The Last of Us came out, the Fallout one came out, and they were great. Who knows? This could be Twisted Metal was not bad. Sonic movie, you know, like who knows? This I don't know the franchise. I have not played any of these games, so hey, let's when we see a trailer, it's gonna be telling of what it is.
yeah. I have very this. I feel the same way about this as I do with the Tomb Raider one they announced. We talked about a few weeks ago. Like just the overall, like okay, yeah, makes sense. Go ahead. Not hype for it. It could go entirely one of two ways, but uh,
Yeah, we're in like the second, you know, everyone tried video games and it was like, "Ooh, not great." So everyone stopped, and then now it's like, "Oh no, you actually can do video game properties well when you respect it." Now we're back at the. We're just getting a bunch, it seems, but we haven't had a lot of huge misses. So who knows? Maybe this Watchdog movie will be fun at least. I think that's the thing. Is at the end of the day, what are we expecting out of a Watch Dogs movie? Are we trying to say it needs to be like up there with a best picture? No. So
no.
out of it, like we're just saying it just needs to be a fun movie with a decent story, which has been apparently too high of a bar to to reach for the past couple of years. But I think they can do it. Who knows?
That's what I feel. Like I said, with this like being less gamey in general, like unless they try and completely go overboard with it and make it more than it needs to be, and it just drowns in its own idea. And like you, I've one of the series I've completely somehow avoided. I would like to eventually get to it sometime, at least one of the newer ones. Check it out. But these came out really in my time of avoiding Ubisoft stuff and just overwhelmed with how much and what they were doing as far as games go. So yeah,
Yeah, I
something
was only playing Assassin's Creed from them during that time.
yeah, definitely something I need to at least give a look to. Moving on, one of the biggest pieces of news: Xbox is expanding even more. We are getting Xbox Cloud Gaming app coming to new Fire TV devices. Oh, you're
I
laughing.
forgot about this because we're like a couple days late on this
Yeah,
because of But I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, what they do? What
what
they
just
do?
happened?
I was like, wait, I started looking.
Yeah,
I
no,
was like, shit.
this
What?
was a last week thing for sure. Catching up on it though, still very cool. In a post of Xbox revealed that Game Pass Ultimate tier members in over 25 countries can play games on the Xbox app on select Fire TV devices starting in July. More specifically, the Xbox app will be available in two Fire TV devices, the 2023 models of the Fire TV Stick 4K Max and Fire TV Stick 4K. Simple, just download the app on the device, launch Xbox app, and you're good to go after you log into your Game Pass account. Obviously, Bluetooth wireless controller required, but huge news. I caught me way off guard initially, and then I remembered that they already kind of did this before with the Samsung TVs. I think that was early last year, or even the year before, maybe, where they're having the Game Pass app available to just download straight off the TV. which I feel like should be a bigger deal, but I don't really hear talked about or people using it really.
Yeah, are they down? It's just stream though.
I believe it's just streaming. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I think this is something that I just don't think people understand how the mainstream audience. I don't think understands how seamless and how well the systems do work. Albeit sometimes you do have to like log in. It like kicks you out to a menu to the Microsoft thing account and you have to like but when you're signed in your accounts like it's just pressing sign in and go. Like I don't have any issues signing in every now and then on such. Though I do know that you get multiple menus sometimes.
Yeah.
But once you're in and shit, it just works. Dependent on your Wi-Fi, of course, but it just works. And the advantage now that Xbox has is Samsung TVs in any hotel, in any Airbnb, and anywhere across the world, or any regular TV with just a Fire Stick can now have Xbox games played on it. Now I can go on vacation to some random place and they just put a cheap Fire Stick on their TV to fill it out, right? And then boom, I can play my Xbox games right there. That's just so cool. And then it expands to people who don't want to buy a console, who aren't interested in video games because video games are quote video games. And then they just see it on their TV and they might end up clicking in and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, wait a minute, like I saw the Fallout TV show and now I could just stream this thing. That's cool. Or maybe they accidentally click the wrong buttons and they're just playing Fallout all of a sudden. People don't know how to use their TV sometimes.
No.
This is just a great thing for Xbox. But I'm still waiting for, we got to be able to install stuff, mostly on the phone. I'm like, the day that Apple's walls fall and we can download third and Game Pass games onto our phones, because we're not downloading like Starfield and shit yet.
No.
That's not even like the biggest game, but you know. But like certain games, like I want to be able to download onto my phone. I don't want to have to do the cloud stuff. It's just not fully there, right? But man, when you're on a solid Wi-Fi network, it works great, and I think it does fly under the radar. This is a bigger move for Microsoft gaming as a whole than people understand. It gets just what they've been telling us, right? We want Xbox everywhere, and we're committed to bringing it to everywhere, and we want to make sure you can enter our ecosystem or continue to play if you're already in wherever you're at. That's awesome. We'll see how if it works long term though, but right now it's great.
Yeah, it's been one of my favorite things, honestly, with this announcement that week was the people who have been complaining online about like, oh, like Xbox games going everywhere were equally like approving of this and how cool it was. I'm like, so you really don't care. You just want the console war aspect side of things to have an opinion on Twitter. Like this makes it so easy. This gets more people in Game Pass ecosystem, which is what they want in the long run. They don't care about hardware numbers now. They want their Game Pass subs up. And if you can just get that off of a TV and get in a whole new wave of consumers that don't need to buy into a console, duh. Like this is the most obvious thing for them to do as far as where they're trying to go next, I feel. And yeah, the
Yeah.
day if they do get a little dongle or whatever, which I did, I think it was the day before or something when this happened. The leaked patents and stuff for Keystone also came out around the same time,
Hmm.
which was supposed to be that sort of just streaming device. Which obviously now, yeah, we see it happening with their hardware or with TV in general, where you don't need that extra piece on their end, so they can cut costs, get straight on the device, and maybe that does open up doors later on to have a storage thing you can plug in or something.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's like something like with their metrics, they're seeing people using cloud don't even have an Xbox. People who have a console are not using cloud gaming, right? Maybe it's that type of split where it's a big enough of a, percentage where they're like, it's not worth it. Like, let's just keep giving the cloud Xbox users more options and more avenues to get into the ecosystem and to access it. But for our console players who aren't even touching cloud, or for the vast majority, who, we'll keep making a console for them. Because yeah, I just don't. A streaming only box would be cool, but again, what purpose would it serve if it's, what was the Xbox One? Wasn't that the all play device that was also TV entertainment center?
Mm-hmm.
And now isn't this what that is? Just a different model of it. So yeah, if this came out for like $100, hell yeah, that's fine. I think that's a unique little thing. But yeah, if they couldn't get the price down, which that's what they said, makes sense that it's pulled. And I don't think Xbox needs to enter like the Apple TV market.
Just start getting Xbox branded TVs like Sony or PlayStation did back in PS3 days.
I would buy the Xbox TV.
First in line, Kyle's midnight launch.
Well, I would. It's probably going to be real expensive, so
Oh,
I will take the TV for free.
sponsor review of the TV beforehand.
Yeah, but it's such like all this stuff is like I think it's so cool, but it really just depends on internet infrastructure, and throughout the U.S. and the world, it's just not fully there. It gets better and better every day, or yeah, you can say that probably. People are installing stuff every day, so it gets better, but it's still not fully there. So I think this really the spread of this is really dependent on uh on the internet, right? Like
Oh yeah,
without that, there's nothing to do.
that's what we talked before, especially like with me. Um, uh, my internet, like in the Midwest here, like completely impossible for stuff like this to be a viable option instead of just like hardwired connections everywhere, not streaming in general. Like that's just a no go on my end. And there's other like, are you in an area where they have like your data capped monthly? Because streaming digs into that too, doesn't it?
Yeah, but no, don't have streaming cap.
Okay. Because yeah, I didn't know if like with uh if you have a monthly data cap or cap on it, like if streaming consistently just tears into that.
Yeah, yeah, don't have a star. I was checking too. Don't have a streaming cap. Yeah, we got out of that, which is nice because and that's the thing. Everything's streaming now, and having data caps is incredibly stupid. Turn off the AI engines if we're, running out of energy and resources. Let us be able to stream and not be capped for data. But yeah, like my last job, which was in a national where we lived on site in a national forest, which is very specific, but take out those words and just say rural community, which is the majority of American land, right? Um, our internet was capped, and like it was turned, making sure in the settings Netflix was streaming at 420, right? Like I was forcing it to go down. I forced settings in the phone to only download certain stuff, music, just because one thing, it was a work, so like the company would get charged, and then it's all of, it's a group of people, so it's a little different, right? But like you can't do certain things. You're not going to even think about streaming on your Xbox through the cloud instead of you can't even download a game because that might kill your cap for the month, right? Downloading 100 gig game, and then also having like these silly updates that are like 85% of the game size. So it's like 85 gigs, and you have to update it. But if you don't update it, it'll uninstall the whole game. So it's like, oh, I want to play Diablo, and then I log in. It's like, oh, update. I'm like, I can't update today. I can't update 85 gigs. I have a data cap. It would uninstall the game, and then you can't play it. And now all games are online. So these are issues that are going to stall any really cool and widespread cloud gaming usage. But Xbox is getting ahead of it, at least.
Yeah, which is what we've been saying this whole time, all year, as far as everything they're doing. Like slightly ahead of the curve on things, probably more than people would like, but they're getting the foundation pieces set for when this stuff can be more mainstream or pushed forward. They're ready. They're not going to be playing catch up. I've seen, I think it was somewhere on Twitter today that PlayStation's looking at having like cross save, cross progression on PC and everything. I'm like, had that down. We've had that over here for a while now, so
I hope so because that'd be great. Not that my PC can play any of those games, but it's better for the consumer and it's honestly better for the company. It's better for your image just to have your stuff everywhere because it doesn't matter anymore. It's just a different world, it's just different.
mm, good to see. We got a couple game updates this past 2 weeks. One of which I'm giving myself a post-mortem point for our predictions coming true for Xbox's showcase. That we'll get to in a bit. But something I want to talk about. We got a quick update for 2XKO, the League of Legends fighting game coming out. That's been in development for years at this point, and I still don't even think it's going to hit a 2025 release, if we're being honest. But they announced they're getting their first alpha testing phase in August this year, so finally somewhat available to public. They've had
You sign up for it? Are you
yep,
are you there?
I signed
Cool.
up. Sign up day of. Again, not really big into fighting games. There's very select few that I actually dive into, but just history with
So are
Blizzard.
you
Oh,
so are you interested in this game? Sorry.
I am a bit, and it's
Okay.
mostly because it seems I don't want to say casual because that sounds bad for fighting game stuff, but it's obviously like if you're watching on stream, classic 2D fighter tag and tag out like Marvel vs. Capcom. But the way the combat is, it's almost set up like a Smash Brothers, where you have traditional light heavy attacks, and instead of like having to memorize like quarter circles and 5-button input combo things to do actual like strings, it's very simple. You have a combo 1 button and a combo 2 button, which I believe are like bumper and trigger. And when you hit that, that changes depending on the direction you hit. So if you do a down combo 1, that's something different. Right combo 1, something different. Neutral combo 2 is something different. So it's easier to learn up front from what it sounds like instead of having a whole wall of 30 different things you need to memorize for each character to try and be viable in and have fun with. So it sounds like it's a more open approach to things. And they do even have, with the tag out system with your 2 characters, if your first one goes down, you have your second one up still. If they fall below 50% health, you can still have one more chance to call in your dead character for like an ultra comeback thing, whatever their ability or combo is, as one final assist to try and help you get back into the game. So I feel like if they get the balancing and stuff right for this, it could be special. Obviously, with the IP, it's going to have a following no matter what. So, yeah, interested.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully,
interested.
get in.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I signed up too just to like do it. But I'm not I'm I'm not a big fighting game person, so but it's interesting. I love Smash Bros, so if it could be more of that type of thing, something that is accessible for pretty much any level of player to a degree, and that but also being able to be like a pretty intense fighting game still, and in that's hard to master, right? Easy to play, hard to master. That's the phrase I explained there. uh, so I agree. The IP is strong. It's gonna have a following no matter what.
Yeah, which that ease of access and getting in, I feel like that's what got me into Killer Instinct when that came back in 2013. Was just the tutorial and introduction was so solid. Like, unlike other games where you come in, like if you jump into Street Fighter, they just kind of expect you to know things. If you're able to simplify that even a bit or make it easier to understand for people, that immediately opens up so much for people who would otherwise be scared of trying, because fighting games and the community in general are very like walled off. We're playing this one thing for years and years and years and years, and good luck trying to play. So Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I don't even know if this would hit next year still with the rate they've been on development and how slow things have kind of been. I feel like they're really gonna take their time and try and get this solid, especially because this is one of like the in-house Riot games they're doing. They recently kind of shelved their like partner development program that was doing all their other side games in recent years. So this is going to be on them entirely and not some other company they're just paying off for. So
Mm.
looks good. Love the art
Yeah,
style. I'm hoping to with Arcane season 2 this year. Probably more character announcements there, game awards, something tie in, get people hyped.
yeah. This feels like probably a beta around when this show is out. I would imagine it, and then like sometime summer next year. That feels like kind of the rollout. That makes sense to me with an alpha, getting some other people have hands on it to show it off, and then get into a beta, really balance and test it. There's no rush. You're gonna have people here, so
No, yeah,
I would. That makes the most sense. But
because
we'll
this
see, and we'll see if you get in.
I'm hoping. Fingers
Hopefully,
crossed.
it feels like it was a bigger thing, but it's right. I mean, who knows how many people signed up? Probably millions.
Yeah. And this even like what's on screen if you're watching video, this was from last year already gameplay.
Oh, jeez.
Maximilian dude on YouTube got early access. One of, if not the biggest fighting channel on YouTube. So this was his stuff from 11 months ago when he got first hands on with it. So
Hmm. I didn't
that's,
realize it was like almost a year old. This might be closer than we think, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe spring.
I don't know. I don't know if they've had discussions or openly came out about content plans. I don't think they would yet if it's going to be season pass type stuff or if it's even going to be free to play and just have characters bought after. So that'll be another thing to look into because that's another thing Killer Instinct did really well. You got a handful of characters free on like a weekly rotation. They could buy them a la carte. So if you found one you really liked, you can just kind of stick with them. So uh, after that, we got some Capcom news. God, Kyle, Dead Rising's coming back. Called it. I wasn't called it. Guessed it for a showcase. Isn't quite what I wanted, but we're getting Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster later this year. I believe digital version is out in September. Yeah, September 19th, with the physical version coming in November. So this is essentially a remake of or a remaster of remaster because they already did this back on Xbox One. But this is more like from the ground up, full system rework, um, AI changes for characters, and updates as far as like interactions and how they listen to commands. Overall, menus have changed, music updated. Uh, Originally, when this came out, very, very, very old school way of thinking where you couldn't walk and shoot and aim at the same time. So anytime you had to shoot your gun, you had to completely stop moving and aim that way. They changed that so it's more modern. Um, Overall, just great. There's a couple other things for longtime fans. Uh, Added more stairs in the mall, which sounds dumb, but back in the day, having to have survivors crawl over barricades and just get stuck and break your game entirely, not a fun time. So I'm excited. It's not a full open world thing like I wanted initially in my guesses. It still seems like it's segmented off. Uh, Character models are very much off of Dead Rising 4, the last one that came out. Even Frank's model here, the changeover is more closely related to his Dead Rising 4 design. So I'm excited. It's kind of a cult classic. Very, it's you play it. It's something easy to come back to. and it very much felt like playground days back playing games. Like there's so many weird hidden secrets and nuances of like, oh, if you jump off this staircase onto this awning and wrap around the hall, there's like a hidden submachine gun there you wouldn't know about otherwise, or just so many hidden secrets that like word of mouth back in the day it was a fun thing to explore and experience for the first time. And I still come back to these every now and then, years later, still. So
Yeah, someone who has never played these, this did nothing for me. This seems I don't understand who this is for. I guess unless it's for the people who played it.
yeah, I
It
think it
yeah
is just a way to get fans kind of back. I don't know if that's for like if they're looking at redoing the series or something entirely, but just like another breath of life into it because the last two really like completely almost killed the fan base. I would say so.
yeah yeah. We'll see it how it does. Hopefully well. So
Also, at this we got details on Resident Evil 7 coming to iPhone and iOS later this year, and a demo for Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess is out now, I believe. This is that sort of Japanese folklore style half hack and slash, half RTS game that was announced at the Xbox Showcase last year. That I believe is out on the 19th of July of this month already, so not a whole lot from them. They did casually drop in the Capcom Next Showcase, though, that they're working on the next Resident Evil, which obviously I would hope still get people excited. No real details or where they're going with it. But Capcom's been killing it. Bringing Resident Evil back, Monster Hunter's coming out next year. Like, they've been super awesome top of their game recently.
yeah,
And
they have a ton of stuff.
yeah, and still trying, like, Kitsugami, like, still trying and branching out, doing new things. Exo Primal last year, the space dinosaur horde shooter game. So they're nailing down on stuff they know and have done before while still being able to branch out and explore with new things, which is good to see, especially with how hard it seems to be getting new IP up and going these days. But with that, Kyle, showcase season's done, half the year's done. What does the rest of the year look like for you for video games? What are you looking at playing? What are you interested in? What are you hoping to knock out? Any sort of for sure pickups? Any sort of backlog stuff you need to knock out? Want to knock out?
Yeah, still playing Elden Ring. I've discovered a absolute tragic thing.
Oh,
There is a half-second delay no matter what when I route through my capture card. And let me tell you, after playing a week on my TV with that delay not there, and it is a nicer TV. Well, my monitor's nice. It's the capture card. um, with that, playing a week on the TV, progress, right? Doing great, having fun. Come back out here and like I keep like uh, I'm doing it. I'm a strength build. I jump and I double. I have two heavy great swords. I jump and I slam them both down on the ground, and that's what I'm doing over and over, jumping down, and then so I'm usually dodging and such. Um, but I kept I wouldn't jump. I would jump before the attack was done. On the I just kept messing it up. The lag kept messing me up. That's what I'm getting at, and it explains why I struggled so much for so long on stream playing this game, can't getting past bosses. And then now it's like, oh no, I know what I'm doing. The build's working. It is a timing thing. I had to be a half second quicker uh, on this. So I tested it today. It sucks. So I'm gonna be playing Elden Ring off stream, unfortunately, until I figure this capture card out. But there's a lot of other games that the timing does not matter. But I've noticed it within Rock Band as well. I put Rock Band up and I was like, oh yeah, I had to. There's that delay. So of course, a music game you can calibrate it so it will adjust for the delay. But when you don't, it's like it's the same delay. Very unfortunate. So, but I
Yeah,
still got to beat that. I am at pretty much almost done with the game. I'm at the spot where I'm out to beat it. I got like 3 more big bosses, 2 optional stuff, and then I have the DLC. So that is on the list. I got some smaller indie games that are coming out that I'm interested in that I have an eye on, and such. I don't. So let me see. Oh, this is not an indie game. I think Dungeons of Hinterberg is that. That's coming to Game Pass day one, July 11th. I want to play that. I've been interested in that, so I stopped looking at things for that game. Very early on, I was like, that seems interesting. I like the style. I'm gonna just go in as blind as I can for it. So that's coming out soon. So I won't be beating Elden Ring before that, but we'll be hopping into that. What about you? Those are the quick 2 big ones right off the bat.
yeah. Mine. My the past few weeks I haven't gotten to get into a whole lot. Obviously, been figuring things out. I have finally reached the end, quote unquote, of Yakuza Infinite Wealth, like a dragon. Finally, when this game came out in February, uh, I think I'm just pushing 70 hours on main story and a couple side things. So I'm finally seeing the end of that, which right now probably going to be my game of the year. Um, far as new stuff, besides like obvious like Astrobot, I want to get into when that comes out in September. That's a must play. Avowed, Indiana Jones, like the obvious stuff. Um, Alan Wake is a series I kind of want to check out this year, especially with how big 2 got when that came out. Something I've never experienced yet. And I have the remaster on PS5. Perfect time to get 2 when they have the physicals of that coming out later this year, finally. So that's something. Same thing, Dead Space Remake's been on my list for forever. Uh, what was. Uh, Mine's blanking on me. Mine's blanking.
You got the War Within. You going
The
back?
War with it.
Going back to WoW?
I debated putting it on my list. I would love to, especially with how we've talked about how it's setting up the final of the game. That's monthly subscription though is just such a killer for me right now in life, which
Yeah.
sucks because I think I would have to look. I think honestly, I pre-ordered it when they announced it already because that's when I kind of got back in and started doing the last expansion. So I think I honestly already have it bought. It's just that
Nice. So you are playing.
if I break down and get the monthly sub, which I'll probably do when it launches because I get caught up in the hype, that's always been like midnight launch of the expansion is one of the few times in that game where you can still like go to the area where it's about to start and the world is just covered with hundreds of people still and it feels like it did back in the day. So yeah, I probably will at least for story stuff. I don't think I'm gonna get into it like I used to and do end game raids and keep up on weeklies and everything, but at least to check out what they're setting up for the future.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I'm excited for. Oh,
I think that's September too, so it'll be fighting Astrobot for me.
so I have a list, and I was like, "Where?" No, it's August 26th. So basically September,
Close enough.
and then Astrobot is September 6th. So you could do everything you need to do in a brand new World of Warcraft expansion in a week.
Just take a week off of work, be good.
Oh, it's 2 weeks. It's 12 days. You got
Or
it.
even better.
That's not how math works, but maybe it is. I actually don't know. Either way, I'm excited for the Diablo 4 expansion. That's a game my wife and I played a ton when it came out, and we got to get back to playing it together. But I kind of put my foot down and said, "Hey, I hate playing couch co-op because we're tethered together. I don't want to play couch co-op anymore, and that's kind of we've just let that be a barrier for us to playing Diablo. But we'll get back eventually to it, and there might be that expansion. So looking forward to that. Trying to think what else.
Are you interested at all in since you mentioned it earlier, the Horizon Lego game? Does that do anything for you?
No, I think it's weird. Like my daughter is 11 months almost. Now games are like, well, I could just do it with her in like a year, most likely 2 years, right? So I don't know. I'm just like, I don't care about
That makes sense.
that game. I don't care about the franchise. And if I were to, it'd be like, well, that could be something for us to play, especially on the Switch, you know? But I just don't care about that franchise. I haven't. I do really like what they're doing with it, though. I think I do like the Lego Horizon game. I think it's very smart. It's a very smart angle for the game. It could have been like, it could have been different, right? But I like what they're doing a lot with it. Have you ever played Mario, like the Mario and Luigi games?
Mario and Luigi specifically, no. Uh, Obviously played through most of the Paper Mario's and some of the old RPG on the SNES, the Legend of the Seven Stars or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah,
Mario, Luigi, no.
yeah, I realized like there's a Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is a game that I played. I like had and I played a lot, but I didn't understand what I was doing. I struggled with it. It was like one of the first games I probably, and honestly, it was one of the first games I remember playing that was like, oh, this is a game. I'm understanding that there's like things to learn here. Uh, but I when they announced Mario and Luigi Brothership, that's when it clicked for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that game. So I don't think I would buy it, but it's something that I don't know that I'm interested in it. I haven't thought about those games in a long time, but that trailer and then going back and seeing the other games, I was like, oh yeah, like in a way, it reminded me of stuff. I got nostalgic for a little bit.
Yeah, they always. I skipped the entire like Nintendo DS, which is I think mostly what those came out on, and I didn't get a 3DS till like way late. So yeah, they just completely skipped past it by me back then.
Oh yeah, first one was Game Boy Advance. That was Superstar. That was the first one, Superstar Saga. That explains a lot. Okay, and then I just never played the sequels to them. Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, Paper Jam, and now the new one, Brothership, coming out this year. 9 years later. Anyways, I might have to go back and play Superstar Saga.
That's, yeah, that's November 7th, which that's actually reminded. That got me on the list I have. The one I was spacing out on comes out the day after that, on the 8th, is Slitterhead.
The hell
Was
is Slitterhead? Also, are you on GameSpot?
yes. Uh
Haha, look at us. We found the same article.
yeah, Slitterhead is what I was trying to think of. It was at one
The
of
hell is this?
I want to say the PlayStation Showcase or something we watched. It's the one made by the original Silent Hill creator, where you're like jumping
Oh
between
yeah.
people and like possessing them with different powers and stuff.
Yeah, it was scary. I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of earlier. And I looked at your Mario Luigi. It's like, ah, there it is. Again, yeah,
I was gonna say Slitterhead as a joke, and then you said Slitterhead, and I was like, oh my gosh,
no,
he's on the same list as me
that
too.
was the one. But yeah, I've just
Oh,
been big Silent Hill guy and something new from him after Evil
oh yeah, it's
Within.
from yeah. I forgot that connection. Still scary. I don't want.
A little spooky. It's like Bioshock scary, but
I am excited for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I want reasons to fly planes and have to like maybe learn how to fly it by turning up the difficulties and turning off the assist. But I don't have a reason other than just to fly, and that's boring. So with everything they're adding, you know, with different jobs and just it just seems like at least 100 different things they could do in it. That seems really interesting. So I'm excited to go back to that and just the visual showcase that can be so fun. Assassin's Creed Shadows also. I don't think I'm gonna buy it because the Ubisoft pricing is absurd. But it is something I'm interested in. I'm very intrigued to see how the story turns out, how people like it or not, what they're doing. Because I am, I said this I think earlier in the year, but I think we are very fast approaching a people getting tired of the Japanese style games. It's I feel like they're all it's samurai aesthetic. It's just all there's just a ton of games that are within that time period and aesthetic and such. So with its properties of Shogun and I don't know. We'll see. I think there's a
Rise of the
couple other
Ronin
that
are
got
later this
announced.
year.
Yeah, so we'll see. I hope they just don't get stuck treading like, oh yeah, we've seen this before, and we're gonna see more of it in other games, you know.
Mm.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I have Assassin's Creed's on my maybe list. I don't know if I want to buy it. I bought Origins was the last one I bought day of, and I just can't. Flintlock, I want to give a shout out to. I am interested in this. This is out this year or this month. Sorry, on the 18th. This was also at the Xbox Showcase the past 2-3 years, I believe. I believe also day one Game Pass release. So shout out to this one. And also something I'm not excited about, but something I've been playing still. I want to give love to X Defiant. I don't know what it is about that game, but I am on the verge of being hooked, and I don't know why because it's not normally what I want from a shooter. But we got this past week, season one officially launched with a new faction, another group from Rainbow Six Siege series, a new map, a couple gameplay tweaks. And I'm still just having a blast. I don't see it being something I'd ever buy the battle pass for, but I'm still literally nightly coming in for at least 2-3 games a night. Super fast paced, super. It feels. I don't want to say arcadey, more arcadey than Call of Duty, but something with the way hits register and how like time to kill just works for me. So shout out to Ubisoft, shout out to X Defiant.
That's so interesting. I gotta download it at this point and give it a shot because why not, right? Um, Age of Mythology. I haven't. I've never played an Age of Mythology game. Retold's coming out this year, so I do plan on hopping into that. I played Age of Empires, of course, but never got the mythology ones, which add different stuff, of course. I do want to call out Flintlock. That's a Game Pass. Watching it's just on the screen right now is stream, and it's like, dang, that actually looks really good. So day one Game Pass. That looks like a hey, go collect and go kill the things and go to the quest item marker and just go do the stuff, and then make your numbers on your items go up by upgrading it. You know, that's the game it is, and I'm down for that.
Just need a
I
game
doubt
game
I'll
as a
play it
video
though.
game sometime.
Yeah, but this will be a later play for me. And then there was one more. Oh, Star Wars Outlaw. I don't. Again, I don't think this is something I'm buying. You know, unfortunately, thank God for Game Pass, letting me play new games more often than I would be. Uh,
Yeah.
but with again, it's on my fantasy drafts, but I am interested to see the story because it looks awesome. It looks fantastic. I'm very intrigued, and I hope it not just because it's on my fantasy team, my critic team, but I hope we just get cool Star Wars stories. You know, like Survivor and Last Jedi were so good and are so good. I want the video game Star Wars to continue having cool stories while the shows and movies kind of figure their stuff out.
That I wanna before this month I'll be
Coming
before I
around the
travel
mountain.
to SummerSlam with some flights coming up. I want to try and find some smaller stuff to try streaming on a plane, see how that goes. Not games necessarily, like obviously games, but like nothing specific, but just to see how that experience is. Um, because yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's nothing streaming stuff's like not viable here, so I want to try that out on the phone, see how that works. Do full controller setup, try that out.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's yeah. When the connection works, it's good, and even then, like I mean, here for me, it'll kick me out every now and then uh like reconnect, and then I'm right back where I was. Like it's not like a restart all the time unless you know a big thing happens. So I hope that works out for you.
Is Stalker on your list at all? You have anything for
No,
Stalker? No.
no. Same with Dragon Age. Nope. Have never played those games, so have no care for the Veil Guard. So
Dra-
it does look interesting.
Dragon Age is on my maybe again, but I don't see that
Yeah, there's
being on Game
just
Pass.
yeah. I mean, we didn't call out like Indiana Jones, Avowed. I watched both of the extended stuff they showed. Uh, got me way more interested, at least feeling better about both of those games. And they're in Game Pass. I'm gonna play them. Uh, but I'm looking forward more to Avowed plus post their podcast they did, their deep dive for it. Again, it sounds like it's just an Outer Wilds or Outer Worlds,
Yeah,
but not, you know, and I'm fine with that. Like I like the Outer Worlds
fantasy coat of
personally,
paint
so
on it. Call it
I
good.
just yeah, I just wanted a little more, and that's usually what happens with games that have or you know the next game. They it sounds like they're gonna fix some of those issues people had.
Yeah, sadly, like if it's not, I don't want to sound like one of those people, but like if big stuff's not coming to Game Pass, I usually don't get to it for at least a year, whether that be money wise or whatever else is happening. Like gaming's just expensive to be on top of and like constantly on the newest, biggest shit. Like having to
And
pick
it's not
out.
even money; it's time. Like it's like financial, sure, money wise, it's expensive too, but it's also time. Like who has time to play everything? And then when Game Pass can just give you really high quality stuff too,
Mhm.
makes it a little easier not to care about missing certain things and then waiting for a sale.
Yeah, and that's why I said that's why I brought up Alan Wake and Dead Space earlier. Like those are years and years and years old, but now finally, like, cool. Finally have time. Timing works out. Interested enough. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that, unless you want to give anything else out, I think we'll call it there. Getting back into the swing of things.
The altars.
Oh yeah, the
I don't know
altars.
when that's coming out, but that looks fun. And I played a lot of it. Not a lot. Played like an hour. The demo.
Which that too. Yeah, they have Frostpunk 2 from them is coming out. I believe in September as well this year. So
I did see that.
that
Yeah.
same team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
altars.
that's it. A lot of fun stuff coming out. But yeah, definitely has been kind of a lull, which is fine. Catching up on stuff, taking care of stuff, right?
Yeah, I do. I'll agree with you on I re I a few weeks ago I downloaded Diablo 4 on my Xbox. I took it off for space. I re-downloaded it again this week, and I'm just staring at it. Like I'm gonna one of these nights I'll break. Finally try it out.
Oh, you haven't even tried it yet?
I did a little of like the open beta they had, but that was it. Like I think I like very like just the introduction to the main city and maybe a quest or two after, but that was it.
Oh yeah, you could hop in whenever because you'll just do the Eternal Realm. Don't touch a seasonal.
So don't touch it.
I wouldn't at least. That
Get there when we get there. Yeah, it's been like I said this past week. A lot of it's been Yakuza finally getting that knocked out because that's been such a I don't want to say mountain or anything bad, but it's just a time sink. Still great. Love every second of it. Game's fantastic. Any sort of fan of turn-based RPGs like this must play if you're a fan of the series or not. So get that knocked out. Figure out the schedule for the rest of the year. With that though, this was episode 27. Download queue. I don't think I have anything specifically coming up this week yet to promote. You'll still be doing Bioshock on stream for the kids.
yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, barring any more issues on tech stuff.
It's like we got the right disc installed this time. We're
Yes, I don't want to talk about
good.
that. It's their fault, and it's your fault for not telling me.
Why do we do this in this day and age?
You played the game and you didn't tell me.
I didn't think about it. I didn't tell you about the crashes either, but
Yeah, see, you You caused all my problems. Not me not looking at not noticing there's a second disc that clearly says, they're not even looking at the disc I inserted and installed said Bioshock Infinite. I didn't even see the second disc that was under that disc.
It's Bioshock 1+2.
Still, I'm going to blame other people.
Yeah, that's fine. It works. We'll be back next week, next Sunday. Till then, be good. Happy gaming. And we'll catch you all next week.